NBA trade deadline is fast approaching. Moves already being made, none involving the Toronto Raptors, whose GM Bobby Webster spoke on Tuesday afternoon. We are with Will Lou, host of the Raptors Show with Will Lou, a show I totally listened to and got the name right on the first time. Will, listen, I found it curious, given that the Raptors have played so well of late. They're climbing up the Eastern Conference standings, are a legit, I feel, threat to some of the teams above them right now, that Bobby Webster would say there's no major move targeted for this team right now. You think that's just something he has to say, or you think he believes this team is good enough as they stand?
I actually kind of believe him. Obviously, right now, there's a lot of posturing going on, especially with front offices, especially 2 days before the trade deadline. You definitely want to posture, but I actually do believe him, because I think that's been consistent with the reporting around the team, is that none of the starters, the core five, are going to be moved. And so I think when you're looking at a major move, you're probably looking to change something in your starting five. The starting five is looking great. They just put 103 points on the Hornets. Just the starters alone would have beaten the Hornets. Yeah. You don't even need anyone off the bench. Now, of course, they could use some help off the bench, and I think that's where you can use Goran Dragic and his expiring deal, attach a pick, and get somebody useful in that front. Quite honestly, when you look at it, a guard, a center, a wing, pretty much all of it will do, because all of that's better than Goran just practicing in Miami. But no, I actually believe Bobby in that sense. I don't think he was posturing there.
Man, I remember coming on your show at the beginning of the season saying Goran's a guy to look out for, guys. I believe that he's got it in him to help this team, and maybe he can, just through a little bit of a different avenue with that contract. It does offer them some flexibility, Will. And if you had to target a specific position, we know they probably lack some size, although, look, they seem to make it work. We know the bench could use some help. Where do you think, if you had to just pick one position specifically right now, should be the main focus of their trade deadline?
Well, I think there's definitely merit in adding a true 7-footer who can move their feet, who can sort of set up the play. And I think someone like Yusuf Nurkic is probably my favorite target there. But
please. Yeah.
But having said that, they don't even have a third guard right now. With all due respect to Delano Banton, who has been very good as a second-round pick, I think he continues to show what he can do. He's still kind of positionless in a way that if the Raptors can add another shooter who can come off the bench and actually hit threes, who can make plays, who can handle the ball, play with some of the starters, and maybe bring down the minutes of Fred and Gary as they sort of head into the stretch run, that would be the most ideal, if you can turn Goran Dragic into a version of Goran that, is actually willing to play for the team.
I saw Nickeil Alexander-Walker get moved from the Pelicans on Tuesday. I was like, that's one of the guys I wished and prayed somehow ended up in Toronto. What about names specific, Will? If you have to look at players available or players that we're looking, we know Indiana's looking to move some stuff. We know Portland, after their moves, are looking to move maybe some of the remaining pieces, not named Dame Lillard, even though they probably should, but we won't get into that right now. Who would be a realistic target player-wise for the Raptors?
I really like Bogdan Bogdanovic from the Hawks. It's a guy who has proven to be capable of playing and being effective off the bench. I think it takes a certain skill set to be able to come into the game and jump in right away. And he's an experienced player. He's come up with big moments before. And I think that Atlanta, they're clearly, they're just playing below expectations as compared to last year when they went to the conference finals. And he's on a longer-term deal. They have a lot of money coming up on the books with Trae Young hitting an extension and Kevin Huerter hitting an extension. So they probably want to move some money away. And I think that, Goran is a salary dump piece that is right there. So make the deal, Atlanta. Please help the Raptors out. Thank you.
That feels like an appropriate way to end with your thank you there, Will. Appreciate your time. You can always listen to the Raptor Show with Will Lou on Sportsnet 590 The Fan from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, anywhere you get your podcast. Thanks, Will.
Thank you.